Is there a difference between heaven and hell? That man depends upon where your soul dwell. With the heart of a lion, so I must rebel. Listen up, cause dogs can get a story to tell. Stay strong. Without one love, there's no love at all. Stay strong. Stay strong. Stay strong until you hear the final call.
Hello, everybody. Look at all the gorgeous smiling faces. Hi, everyone. I'm really excited about this one. I'm going to give you a tiny bit of a backstory, as per usual. You guys know me. And then I'm going to hand you over to our wonderful guest tonight. We've got a few people that had asked about the link, so I wanted to give them a chance to get in, but we should launch now because there's a lot to cover. I met Leo when I was working at the name that shall never be spoken aloud, horrible corporate company that I hated in London. And I was at a low point. Boss bullied me, horrible job, miserable. And I was like, no way am I going to be a victim here. I'm going to lose weight and get fit. And I met Leo on Groupon, and he had like just a class. He was doing a one-off class. And I don't do well, as you know, in group environments. I end up with a whole bunch of new friends, and I don't learn a single thing because all I do is talk. But I asked Leo about training. Now, I'm a cheapskate when it comes to that kind of thing. I've never been a sporty girl. The thought of spending money on getting fit, like, horrifies me. I'll pay for a voice coach, but like, so poor Leo had me going, well, I can only afford one. Let's see how it goes. And then it was like, I was addicted. It's like, okay, just maybe one more. And then I was like, maybe could we do every other week? And it was me fooling myself that I wasn't spending money. Meanwhile, this guy's traveling all over the world with his clients, helping them do personal training, you know, the kind of people that have been into physical fitness since they were babies. But he stuck with me. And I stuck with him because by the end of a year, not even a year, it was like 10 months working with Leo, I had lost over half my body weight. I could do a plank forever. Like, I just literally wouldn't even need to stop. I was doing Kung Fu 3 nights a week. I was doing kickboxing on the weekends. I was walking like crazy. I was meeting Leo and I was boxing, and I never thought, the story of who you think you are when you grow up, you assume, oh, I'm not that person. And you think maybe it's too late to be that person. But I was thinking about why it worked with Leo today. And I think what it was, first of all, I trusted him. Second of all, he just very quietly let me go on about all my stories. Because we all know, if you've ever tried to exercise or diet, you've got your story about why you're not doing it, why it's not working, what you're doing. Leo just listened. And I spent the entire session going on about my stories and how it was impossible and I wasn't going to be able to do it. And an hour later, I was exhausted and I'd done it. He just told me the next thing I had to do, and I did it. And I got there in the end. And I think it was a huge benefit to have somebody hold all that for you. Just look, I'm too in my head. I can't do this. I need someone to cut through the crap and help me get where I know I want to go. So when Leo and I'll make this short, I promise. When Leo contacted me on Instagram, fast forward, I've been out of touch with him for years. I gained all the weight back and more. You might have heard my story a few million times. I've been standing in a booth recording for 5 years. I think I've taken maybe 1 hour break in the whole 5 years, and I don't leave the house anymore. So I'm not in great shape. And Leo contacted me on Instagram and said, how about we should do a consultation? And I was like, right, here are the excuses. Should I get the list? I'm not in London. I can barely leave the house. Leo, seriously, my hips hurt, my elbow hurts, my head hurts, my brain hurts. No way. But it was Leo. And I couldn't let him down. I thought, oh God, what am I going to say? I can't sign up for anything. I'm not going to pay for anything. I can't leave the house. I'm old and past it, but I met Leo. We had a little consultation. Fast forward 2 weeks. I haven't had coffee now. I'm completely off coffee. I'm having decaf, only for 5 weeks, but I'm having decaf for Leo's advice. I feel better. I feel like I can do things. And Leo has had quite a journey from when I used to meet him. And what attracted me to the way he worked was he, did mixed martial arts and the boxing. And I love all the, thrillers, killing people, the tough stuff. But he's had quite a journey since then, and it shows in everything he does. And I want to hear more about it. And also, if you can, Leo, at some point, I want to move us back to talking, because you were talking about, during our call, he was talking about breaths and energy and focus. And I thought, oh my God, narrators need to hear this, because there's not one of us I haven't heard with the same complaints and worries. If you have any questions, remember, guys, type question before it, and I'll bring it to Leo through the call. And just to preface, neither Leo or I are doctors, nor do we play them on TV. Please check with your doctor, or get, I don't want to be sued if you stop drinking coffee and die from it or something. So, Leo, what happened to you and with you since you trained me? Can you give us a little bit of background before that point as to how you came to be a trainer first?
Well, hi, Daniela. Thank you for inviting me to your show, to your event. Hi, everybody that is listening right now. My history happened that I used to have a very chronic depression when I was a child.
When you were a child?
When I was a child, yeah, I was probably, I didn't recognize it before, but there were a lot of things was going on with my depression. And then one of the reasons that's why I started learning martial arts, to escape from that kind of emotions that I used to have. But then about, I will say 13 years ago, I had this very, very bad depression again, which is really took me a long time to recover. So that's the reason why I started researching about what happened with emotions, what happened with the psychic, and a lot of things that I discovered from the ancient wisdom, from different shamans and different sage. Shaman is a word that they're using in Mongolia for a person, a medicine man or a medicine woman, that also connecting with different spirits and so on. But the person that is like a shaman in the Andes, in the Amazon, is called something different. They call more like closer to like a priest. They call pacos in Peru, in the mountains. So they know a lot about self-development, about all the natural medicine, and all the connection with the nature, to discover the self, who you really are, and so on. So there's a lot of things going on. I mean, a shaman person is not just a person that only working with the spirit or the ayahuasca or these kind of things. But also is a coach, and also is a psychologist, and I discovered a lot of things what happened with me with that kind of teaching, and then I healed all my depression from my childhood, my depression that I had 13 years ago, and I wasn't. I mean, I used to be personal trainer, for a long time. But doing exercising and training martial art, it wasn't enough. I'm trying to figure out what happened with my mind, what happened with my emotions, and that's why I decided to learn in shamanism.
So, do you think? Sorry, I want to stop you here because I don't want to lose this thought.
Yeah.
Because when you say you did martial arts to help with the depression, because I'm reading and listening to a lot about neuro and the chemicals in your brain and the hormones and everything. So do you think that by doing that, you were from the outside in, keeping it at bay physically, but by doing the other thing, the shaman stuff and the exploration, you started then going from the inside out, which is more, that's what right. It was, huh?
That's why it was, because normally we tend to look in the answer outside, in external. you know, we're thinking that okay, you know, doing a lot of exercise or big muscle is gonna sort out the problem or my health or, you know, and so on. We're always trying to look for external. But what happened in the cosmovision on the Andean wisdom, we believe that everything started from inside to discover who you truly are. But this is going deeper, more into, we'll say, more spiritual or more self-development or kind of mix. But then all the combination is going together with finding yourself and to be on control of your energy, control of your emotion, and control your body. It's in all together.
And that's the challenge in our job, because and everyone talks about this. Okay, I talk about this a lot. I'm pretty sure everyone else does too. But when you're standing there in a booth, and a lot of times it's things about crying or even nonfiction where it's like really hard to look at the facts, you have to be the master of how you feel and everything, you know, that energy that's how we do our job. It's so hard, Leo. It's so hard. And you're trying so hard, then you don't have any energy to do anything else outside. Yeah. Okay, so go ahead. I keep interrupting you, but it's good stuff.
Yeah, no. It's good. It's good. It's keep flowing with the conversation. Okay. You know. Yeah, remember the times when we training together. Remember, you come to me and exactly what you describe in the introduction, and I perceived that your self-esteem, it was kind of like up and down in that time, right?
Yeah. Even when I got skinny, I thought I was like the fattest girl in the room. Remember? People were warning me I'd lost too much weight, and I thought I was the fattest girl in the room. Because, you know, but because it was outside. I was fixing the outside, but I was in a bad place, so it wasn't helping.
Yeah, but that's why you started, you know, the time when you contact me and you wanted to make change for yourself and starting being healthy. Maybe you were looking for something else, more internal, you know?
Yeah.
But then when we start training together, then I was realizing that I was pushing you a little bit with the exercise. But something didn't change much. Yeah.
But it was a good pushing. I did think I was going to die.
Pushing. It was a good pushing. Yeah.
But it was good.
in that time, I was really into martial arts, you know. Yeah. I was really into like, working hard.
But do you still do that though? Do you still incorporate that?
I still incorporate it, yeah. I still incorporate it. But now I using more the, I will say more, depends how you feel, in base of your energy in every day. Because the energy, it changes every day. Depends how you sleep, depends how your stress level, and depends of your hormones and metabolism and so on, you know. So every day you work your body differently, you see. So now, for example, in the fitness industry right now, everybody is thinking that, or well, not everybody, but some methods, some methodology of training, they're pushing too much without know what's happening with the body in the next day. What happened with the body, for example, where it doesn't have too much, where it has too much stress or anxiety, and then you go on you're going to do a very high intensity training. You overload it, you know, your body and so on.
I have a friend that did that, that's on this call, and they recently did that. I won't say names, don't worry, I'm not going to call you out. But they went through an exercise program recently, and it made them feel good, but they were exercising like 3 or 4 hours a day. And they were like, at first, I'm not losing weight, but I feel better, but I'm doing the exercise. But you can't maintain that for the rest of your life. How do you maintain that for the rest of your life? And then life would happen, and they felt bad about it. They couldn't keep it up. So the way you're talking, you're listening to how you feel that day. But then those of us that aren't in shape, Leo, I'm never going to feel good enough to think I need to exercise.
Yeah, I think the concept of, for example, exercising, fitness, training. Again, we're always trying to think about the outside. I want to lose weight, I want to get fit, I want to get muscle, I want to get six pack, and so on. But I mean, for me, training the body or even physical movement, it should be like your breakfast. It should be incorporated into your life.
Okay.
So it should be your habit, or doing every day. No, training doesn't mean training hard, like going for running or training like a CrossFit and heavy stuff. No, I mean, your movement should be depends. It should do it. It should do it like 6 times per week, 5 times per week, and depend how you feel. Depends is how your energy. And the way I see it, for example, training, physical movement, the way I see it is for longevity, vitality, empowerment. All these things, that is combinations for your self-growth, for your evolution.
So what did that look like? You go off and you were training with people and learning all this about yourself. Were you still training people at the same time, personal training, or did you have to take a break from that and then go back to it? And then what does it look like? How is it different now than the way it was before? Right?
Yeah. Before I was concentrated so much in the goals of my client. My client want to lose weight, so we're working on making the program for my client to get results. We're working with different phases and stuff, and nutrition, and maybe some mindset set up and some coaching. But now I'm going really, really deep into more like inside what's happened, the incorporation of the emotions, breathing exercises, maybe some rituals, not like a ritual like over the top, but some ritual like incorporated to change the program in the mindset,
And they say rituals are good, aren't they? Because they make people feel safe.
Yeah,
I've heard that rituals are a good thing to have, like habits. They make you feel safe. They let your brain think you've got something to latch on to. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, ritual is just a symbolism.
Okay.
It's a symbolism that you that your mind read it, okay, and then so it can be, for example, like for example, you want to change a habit, right? You want to change a habit. So one of the rituals that I normally do is with the water in the morning. Drinking 1 cup of water in the morning, for example, it's just a ritual. So the intentions of that ritual is because the human body is about 65% or 70% water, right? So when you drinking the water in the morning, this is a tip. For example, you can try out from tomorrow or from after the call. You take the glass of water, all right?
I might be back on the caffeine tomorrow because it's my first session with you and it's way before my wake up time. But sorry, go ahead. Drink of water in the morning.
The glass of water basically is it holds a lot of memories in the body. I mean, the water in the body has a lot of memories holding bad emotions, good emotions, whatever, So one of the
I never knew that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Really?
So this is a left from shamanism. Okay, that's why they use the 4 elements. They use the water to heal, to cleansing and so on. But you take the glass of water in the morning and then you consciously internally say to the water, I want to drink this water to cleanse my digestion. Or I want to drink this water because I want to incorporate anything you want. The intention.
But your intention, because intention, yeah.
Conscious intentions. Yeah. And you drink the water. And then when you drink it, close your eyes and feel the water all the way going to your stomach, cleansing, or maybe you can just imagine a light, a color in the water, green color or whatever, yellow color, and that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen on the time. So that is an example that you can, anybody can do it with.
I have a question. I just had a thought. And I'm not joking when I say this, just because I know it's going to sound slightly stupid, but so we're talking rituals. So rituals can be bad as well. So I realized that part of the reason I'm having such a hard time not staying up till 3 in the morning and watching Netflix, I probably didn't mention that to you on our consultation call, but is because it's become a ritual to me. Just because it's not good for me, it still becomes something that gives me comfort, makes me feel like I'm giving myself a treat. That's a ritual, isn't it? It's a bad ritual that's harming me.
Yeah, it could be. To be honest, we are all like all around us. It's just ritual symbolism, and they're trying to for example, when you listen one advertising in TV and it's still in your mind for a couple of days, that's actually one like a ritual, because it's still in your mind. It's like a brainwash. But you can use it for your own benefit. For example, like the glass of water. Like for example, when you're drinking like the cup of tea, or when you're doing any exercise, when you go for a run, for example, when you're going for a run, normally the person going for running when started running, there's so many bad thoughts come into the head, negative thoughts. Yeah, so this can be a ritual to actually connect with yourself, to observe the soul that come into your head. Okay, it's another ritual.
So if you pick up a lot of positive rituals, I can see how you'd become stronger, wouldn't you, over time? And then it would be easier to let go of, because if you're thinking of it from the terms of safety, I wouldn't need so much late night comfort if I had rituals I enjoyed to look forward to during the day. And we do that getting into our booth. My booth is beautiful, and I make it a welcoming place, and I do a Buddhist chant before I record. Mm-hmm. And it's my ritual. So yes. You're talking about the same thing. If you put those through all day, everything you do, is that right?
Yes, any kind of action, any self-talk, anything that you can set up for your own good, to build up a good habit, that could be a ritual,
So how did your clients react when you came back to these people that have six-pack abs and said, okay, we're going to talk shamanism now? How did they?
Yes. Well, basically, I'm not talking about shamanism with my client, because it can be very dogmatic, and I'm trying not to get too much not to stay too much into shamanism. So I incorporate into my training program, but not like big rituals, or not even talk about shamanism.
Okay.
But something that can help my client get a result.
Okay.
And that's the job.
And have you noticed a difference in the results your clients are getting now to the old kind of training?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because every session or every program that I make for my client is not just a training program, or not a physical program. It's like a therapy.
Right.
And that's why I'm trying to say to my client that the training, the body training or the workout is like a therapy, because it can be benefit for your body, for your muscle, for your bones, for your nervous system, but also for internal. It can take you out of your stress, anxiety, can heal you. It can heal you with the movement. Depends the intention is on the program.
I remember you said on the call, and I couldn't forget, you were saying that you had some clients very, very fit, six-pack abs, not happy. And I know we all know that. Yes, there are a lot of beautiful people out there that are miserable, but they look so happy on Instagram.
Yeah.
You really do. It's like we all know that they're not happy, but kind of hard to, you know what I mean? They look happy. They say
Yeah.
they're happy, you know,
Yeah.
doing
Exactly.
yoga headstands on Bali beaches with like their gorgeous families.
Yes.
But
Yes. Yes. I go this well, I have this kind of clients where they come to me and basically they were looking more for therapy than actually training because they are already fit. So what I incorporated some coaching, incorporated some ritual, some movement, differently what they doing, different that like the training, the physical training, what they doing. For example, heavy weight or heat training, boxing training, martial art training. So I take care of the box, and then I introducing something new, something more holistic, something more using the body in different way, little more movements based, more gentle movements, or maybe some hard movement. It depends. It all depends what the person needs. For example, some people, they are depressed, they need some more action. They need more like a more stimulated the strength, lighting out the fire. They say the shaman, lighting out the fire that go inside. That is
like the Ayurvedic people talk about lighting the fire, don't they? With the food, they have food that increases heat and food that, and different body types. I don't know much about Ayurvedic philosophy or medicine, but I think different body types require different types of food, Vata, Pitta, and all that. So that's, I guess, kind of the same idea, right? Increasing the heat, lowering the heat. So what about somebody that's in really bad shape, like lost all confidence? Because I remember the benefit, and I'm sure it would be even more so with you now, but the benefit I got from you was that I regained confidence in my strength, that I even had it. I didn't think I had any strength at all. It was all about, am I fat, am I skinny? And it would change through my life. So what about somebody I'm asking for a friend, obviously not me, that's not left their flat for 2 years and eaten a lot of junk food and doesn't have any muscles left? Where would you start with that when they feel like if they do exercise, they don't feel well? Like, would you just give them like easy exercises, or where would you start helping them out of the hole they've dug themselves? For a friend, obviously.
Yeah. First of all, it's very important. This is very important, actually. The acceptance, accepting how you are, and now no feeling guilty about it. Okay, feeling guilty is affecting your emotions and affecting you the way actually your daily life. So the first thing the person should be accepting how you are. Okay, let's say you are your friend is overweight, or your friend feel depressed, or your friend feel like unhealthy, and maybe he or she feel like oh, I hate my body, I don't like my body, or I don't like my life, and then put that kind of negative thoughts into the head, and so that's not gonna help. Okay, so the first thing is accepting how you are. And then number two is take a decision, a conscious decision. Say, okay, now I look at my body, it's fine, and I'm accepting how it is. And now I'm gonna choose a trainer. I'm gonna choose a workout. There's different ways right now, and starting from there. And is if the person or your friend, it doesn't have any trainer or anybody, well, can start with the food. First of all, researching what is food good, what's a good, what the diet, straight diet.
Always starts with the food. Okay, so this is the good, and sorry guys, no friend, it's me, full disclosure. Okay, so they all know my entire life story. I think I've noticed now I might as well just give up hiding anything after 62 calls. They know every single deep dark secret there is to know. So this is a really relevant question. So our jobs, we have to, a lot of us stand, some of us sit. We have to go in and we have to complete focus. And we all know you should take breaks. Some of us, when you're on a deadline, aren't so good at taking a break. You just like, in there. Do you have any suggestions for ways to manage energy, breath, something to keep us not feeling sick? It's really hard. Work-life balance in this job is very, very difficult. You get so excited about the book and you really want to do it, and people want the book quickly, and it always takes a long time because especially the ones you really care about, they take longer because you care so much. I mean, you care about all of them, but the ones you really care about, really care. Do you have any suggestions as to how we can keep ourselves healthy and keep the energy flowing, or what we should tell ourselves while we're in there to keep ourselves feeling good?
And number one, like I said before, is acceptance. Accepting how you are, okay? Number one, and don't feel guilty about it, okay? Then everything starts from the night. So how you sleep, how is, first of all, how is your dinner before going to bed? You sleep. You have to be really good sleep, quality sleep. And then from there, the next day, start with the breathing exercise. Not this kind of breathing exercise that you're normally doing for 5-10 minutes because it's not practical. But breathing exercise can be 1 minute or 2 minutes. But what's the reason why the breathing exercise more than actually helping you to have it to release the tensions and so on? But it's actually to connecting with your awareness. Okay, this is very important for you guys that you reading book over tension, because I guess I'm not a narrator, but I guess when you're reading or you do something with tension, it's not really flowing, no?
Yeah, and we know we do warm-ups, you need to do them. But what I've noticed is if I'm tense anyway, I'm doing the warm-ups like this. I'm doing my neck. Not gonna help you much. But when you're tense, you're tense. So breathing is good. I never remember to do breathing exercises ever. And I've heard that breathing is like big now. It's like, I'm sure it's always been important.
I mean the reason why the exercise breathing in the morning is, you feel the awareness in your body, feel the awareness in everything. It's like a meditation, right? But the reason is because everything that you do or we're doing now, it should be consciously with the breathing. For example, I lift the pen, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Everything should be. But at the moment, most of the people, they just holding the breathing. Okay, so first of all, most of people breathing from the mouth. Then don't let go. There's so much tension. So that's the reason why starting with exercise in the morning for 1 minute, 2 minutes, with inhaling from your nose, exhaling from your nose, from the belly expanding and contracting the belly when you inhaling, when you're exhaling, and feel the awareness of your body. Feel your body and relax. That exercise, they actually can be good before you going to read a book.
And what about physical exercise? What time of the day would you suggest? Would you suggest doing that before narrating, if at all possible? Or do you think it's better to do it afterwards? Because doesn't it get you all amped up? Or is it just each individual person?
It's very individual. It's very individual because some people have, for example, more energy in the evening. Other people, they prefer to do it in the morning, the exercise. But what happened with the exercise is like when you finish your exercise, especially it's very intense, your body, the heat of your body is for 3 hours. the heating of your body after the exercise. You know, you feel like a very energetic a little bit. It lasts for 3 hours, and then the body needs some recovery, maybe some nutrition, and so on. But it depends. So maybe for some people, exercising before the reading the book probably is better, or maybe after. But the only things I know is that when you're doing this kind of or before reading a book, it should be a relaxation exercise. But relaxation exercise without falling asleep, because you know, because for example, there is some relaxation exercise that you know, they close your eyes like a meditation, and people falling asleep, and then that's also not productive. But
I'll tell you,
exercise, for example.
Sorry, I'm cutting you off again, but I had an experience, the only time ever, and please don't anybody, this is why I turn the commenting off when I put the videos on YouTube. I know this is not a good thing to do, and nobody ever do it, and I will never ever do it again. But I had a book that I had to deliver it. And the minute I started the book, it was a very important book to me. And the minute I started it, they started knocking down the building. There is no soundproof booth on earth that would have kept those drills and forklifts and beep, beep, beep backing up right underneath my wall. And so I had to, like, the pressure and the tension, like, because you do everything you can to keep it soundproof, right? And most of us are very good at that, but sometimes something's so loud. But this book was really, really, really important to me. And it was the hardest one I've ever done in my entire life, right? So hard and so emotional. I kept crying. So finally I'm coming up the last day, and I know that there's no way I can physically do it because the noise would start if I tried. So I got up at 5 a.m. My voice wasn't good until like 9 because it takes a while to warm up.
Yeah.
And I stood in the same place, and I was like, I'm not leaving until this thing is done. And the minute I had a minute of quiet, I narrated, and I stood there until 2 a.m. the next morning, doing that close, complete stress. And afterwards I thought, wow, I mean, that is extreme, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't even get as much as you would think I could get done because of all the interruptions. But I thought, wow, I'm like Superwoman. I forced myself for sheer willpower. And I went and I laid down on the bed, ready to wake up the next day and send the book in. And I texted my friend, I said, I'm Superwoman. I can't believe I did this. I did such and such amount of time. And I couldn't move my elbow, my foot, my leg, my throat. It took me 2 days.
Wow.
Migraine headaches. And it's like, how do you teach I have a point to this, guys. I swear, I'm not just like, and please, just for the record, never, ever, ever attempt it. Not worth it. I sent the book in. I was on time. They haven't even mentioned it. Nobody even knew. I thought that, like, I literally solved, the answer to world peace, and nobody in the world cared. But the question is, how, if you're a person that isn't in tune with your body, I never know if I'm overdoing it. So when I go out to do a walk, I come home and I crash because when I'm doing it, I think this is great. I'm just right like what I was when I was with Leo. I can run circles around these people, right? Every single time the endorphins hit, and I think I can conquer the world, and then I die for a week. So how do you learn to have a conversation with your body? How do you learn how to know if you're overdoing it, if you're not a person that knows?
Okay. Sometimes happen is we have sometimes this ability that we focus so much in one thing that we actually we go like it happened to you, no? That we use willpower, we can say, I'm gonna finish this, and it's possible. There's so many people.
Willpower. I'm all willpower and no muscle.
It's possible.
So, but what do you do to train yourself if you're no good at that?
Yeah, and the thing is about that is that many people can do that, but the only issue is whatever they're doing, it's gonna be perfect, or it's gonna be right, or it's gonna be good. Whatever you do, it's like, for example, I want to do. I'm a craftsman. I want to sculpt something, with my hands, and I'm gonna use my willpower. I'm gonna crash, and then I'm gonna do for 4 hours.
Yeah, that's me.
Strong, and then I'm probably gonna finish, right? I'm probably gonna finish, but I don't know how it's gonna look. Is it really what I wanted? You know what I mean? That's a question. So,
but how do you stop yourself while you're in the middle of it and say, calm down? It's like I lose my mind. It's like I get so focused. Mm-hmm. And I know my audience here. I know I'm not the only one, guys. I get so focused, I forget.
And then there's something else, a part of just being focused. There's something that they call the zone, being on the moment. When you are in the moment, and then you are really inspired, and you put everything together, and then you start flowing, and then you start, like the example of a craftsman. So I sculpting something, but I put myself into the moment and I start doing beautiful things, and I don't know about the time. The time is going. It could be 3-4 hours, but I'm not I'm not doing any pressure. I'm not forcing myself. You see, that is something different between forcing and focus so much. I'm using the willpower. Is something
the flow.
From my point of view, something different.
I think there's a guy who wrote a book about it called The Flow. When you get into the flow.
Exactly. When you go into the flow.
That's not what I do.
All right. Okay, so
yeah, I think, and you know what, I think a lot of, and I think a lot of people these days are like this, and I actually think a lot of people you train might relate to this, because when you've grown up in this society, the diet culture, somebody's giving you what to eat, and they're telling you to do such and such push-ups, so you're not doing. A flow comes from what you said. I think actually, yeah, that's what you've been saying the whole time, isn't it? A flow comes from inside, whereas my whole mentality is starve myself for such and such days, and you know what I mean, and exercise and do this. I'm just going to follow the rules. If you're a person that follows the rules and has that kind of thinking, though, how do you find a way back into? Have you always been a person with a flow, or did you have to learn it when you learned all this other stuff?
Oh no, I need to learn it. I basically it's not something to learn. It's something that no learning. It's something actually is taking out your head. Because we had too much things on our head, and instead to looking for how I'm gonna do, how I'm gonna train my body to be flowly. From my point of view, is actually taking out the stuff from your head, because we have too much stuff. You see, when you're doing the flowly movement, let's say, for example, when you're dancing, right? When you're dancing with your partner, or when you're dancing on your own, you don't dancing with the memory, right? You don't dancing like, you're dancing flowly. So
that's why I'm not a good dancer, because I'm memorizing the moves. I'm no good at dancing.
Everybody can dance, even if you don't know, if you are not good with the steps, even a static one, you can start dancing. Even you moving like this, you start flowing, you start relaxing a little bit. So that can be a good example. And also, the way you train how to be flowly, for example, is trying to train your body to be in the present moment. For example, when you work in the nature, for example, when you go into the park, and that's why I always say to my client, go to do some walking or trying to connect with the nature, or just only look in the trees, just look in the plants or whatever. So when you are in this kind of like in the forest, for example, you're working in the forest, and you are not thinking in you about work, you think about your relationship. You're just thinking, not thinking. You just contemplate, looking around you, and you start relaxing. You start feeling the presence of your body into the air, stepping out, stepping. You feel the weight of your body. You feel the wind. You feel the sun. You feel the smell for the flower, and that's just starting. Your body is starting. It's natural,
You're feeding your
It's,
soul.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
there's nothing coming to you into your head with bad. So you are in that moment. So that's kind of like the flow exercise you can do. And there's another one as well. There is a lot of little exercise that you can build it up to be in that moment. And then when you read the book, like with that kind of we can say present moment or the flowly moment. You read it, and you are into it, but without forcing yourself. You see?
And see, that's what we're always trying to do, because that's the key to our job, is to being completely present in the book. Yeah. And completely open to receiving the text of the book. So
yeah,
and the opposite of what you're talking about is force. And I can do this in my job, but it kills me. It just sucks my brain out doing it, because it's not I'm not good at it. But I think that's what it is you can't force narrating. It's a perfect analogy. I mean, you can't force narrating. You have to be completely open to the words so that the characters come through you. So the writer's writing is what's present, not you. Because if somebody's listening to the book at night before they're going to bed, and there's one book I really want to listen to, but the narrator, I'm not putting down another narrator, and I think I've done it as well, but the narrator's voice is very, very present. And you don't want to know about the narrator being there. You want us to disappear, and you have to be open. And you're right, it's all about force, how you approach life and I'm a very force. I walk with my head forward. I think one of our earlier guests said that if you walk your whole body, I walk with my head forward. I clench. Right, I'm going to do this, spreadsheets, and that's why I was a good student, right? Because of that. But it's not an easy life. It's not an easy life. Do you feel like more, what are the differences? What do you wish you could have told yourself then that you understand now?
Observing. Before I knew all of this kind of we can say teaching or learning, I wasn't observing myself. You see, no observing on the judgment way, but observing, for example, who I am. Who is this person here? Why I say that I shouldn't say, this kind of stuff is very complex. But yes, one word, it will be observing. And now every time, for example, I do something, I'm the way sometimes on the observer. So observing myself now, how I talk, observing myself now, what I'm trying to say, observing myself now, moving my hands, not even looking, but I can feel it, So
you're stepping back from the story. All the stories in our head, you step back from it now. Do you meditate?
Yeah, I do. I used to meditate more before, but no now, because I don't think meditation is very good. It's very good. Stillness, stillness, just presence and feel. There's different kind of meditation, from different culture, different teaching, but meditation, it could be, for example, just walking on the forest, looking the river. It could be meditation, just could be like watching your hands, only contemplate your hands. There's so many ways of meditation. It has, it's very powerful, but you don't need to be a meditator full time. That's what I'm trying to say.
Turn it into another life hack, like
exactly.
So I've seen you do these exercises that are fascinating to me. Because to me, it looks like it looked like it actually would feel good. Don't get me wrong. If I tried it right now, I would probably break in half, but you do this thing where you're just moving your muscles on your own body weight, like in different ways. So it's like you're moving and you're doing weight and you're stretching all at the same time. Is there a name for that? Are they set up, or is it like dancing and you're just like seeing how you feel? What is it that you're doing? It looks very cool.
Yeah. Basically, this movement that sometimes I do, I don't know which one exactly you mean, but there is an exercise that incorporates a lot of different variations of movement, martial movement, calisthenic. And what I try to do is like go again, go with the flow.
Yeah, that's what you were doing. You were like flowing. You were like on your hands and moving and flowing and like lifting yourself. But you weren't doing separate exercises. And I thought, it was like a dance rather, and weights. And so that's not a specific type of exercise. It's just something you do.
No, actually, it's a movement that incorporates different exercise, we can say, from handstand, from yoga, from tai chi, from aikido. It's a mix. So it's kind of like throwing myself into the canvas, or into the floor, and start expressing myself. And when it's like an art, when you're painting, or when you write something. So I throw myself into the floor and doing this kind of expression.
Because that could feel good. Yeah. I thought that could feel good, even for somebody like me that like feels very out of shape and broken. Because when I try to follow yoga and do the things they say to do, even when I was fit and working with you, I always hurt myself. I always managed to injure myself, like properly injure myself doing yoga and Pilates. Like when somebody's telling me to do a movement, it doesn't fit with my body. But that idea of what you did feels like it could be natural. Like if you could learn to listen to your body enough and just move it in all sorts of ways that feel good. It's a weird concept.
I mean, this kind of women, if you see a kid, for example, in the park, they playing on the floor, they doing this kind of thing. They're doing naturally, But after many years as an adult, we lost it. We lost this kind of flexibility, mobility on the body. So we come back rigid because of the system that we live, because too much things going on, too much things happening on trying to in being on the survival mode, over tensions.
And mental rigidity comes out, it calcifies your body, doesn't it?
It's totally. And, so
and belief in what you can do, because I had a trainer, she was like, you can bend your knee, but somebody told me I wouldn't be able to when I first had surgery when I was like 20. So I just believed them. And I guess it's so powerful what you tell I was talking to I've been listening a lot about the chronic pain people, and because a lot of times I would have things happen to me and I would be sick, and then like they didn't understand, or I felt like nobody believed me, right? And I'd kept fracturing bones when right after I knew you, I'd started to like fracture bones. That's how I started getting sick. I kept falling. And then I kind of looked back. I haven't fallen once since I left that job, not once, but I had like 52 fractured bones or something. I had like a crazy, I'm horrible with numbers, so people think I lie all the time because I just pick them off the hat. But I had a lot of fractured falls and bones and hospital visits. I haven't fallen once since leaving that job, not once. But funny, now that I have a job where I need my voice every day, the minute I get stressed, I can't breathe. I have asthma. I have coughing. I have congestion. It's very upsetting when you Google this stuff and it's like they're saying that you're making it up, that it's in your head, and it's not in your head, but the chronic pain things that I'm listening to, neurological pain, they're saying that if you're stressed, your body panics And if something's happened before, you've had an experience before, your brain thinks you're in trouble. So it sends an alarm signal, which is pain.
Mm-hmm.
So you're really feeling pain.
Yeah.
You're not making it up.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's your brain is just reacting, and you got to make yourself calm down and feel safe, like mentally safe. And that's why stress kind of triggers it, because it's too coincidental, and it's too coincidental, like the ways people get sick so much. And so many people have had so many, so many like horrible illnesses, people that I know, and it can't just be time of life. It just can't be, or the kind of job you're doing. It has to, the mind-body connection, I think is the missing key, isn't it?
Yes, totally. I mean, you just say now, for example, the mind-body connection is what happened because it's separated, right? For example, when people when we have stress, because sometimes it's normal to have stress, but it's not the way to get rid of stress, because stress is on life. Now, how to control the stress, that's something different. How to control the stress, how to be on control of this kind of emotions, or energy. That's the thing that people should train or should consider it, because most of injuries happen, bad movements, For example, most people, they injure themselves, the lower back roll, and just picking up a pen from the floor. But because the one is the rigid or the tensions of the body,
right?
Okay, that can happen. And the connection, the no connection with the breathing. For example, the breathing is holding, the movement is poorly, there's no range of motion there. And maybe thinking something else, maybe some tension, maybe problems, and they pick up the pen and they have injury in the lower back. So this kind of things. But for example, if somebody has a body-mind connection, it has the right mobility to pick up the pen without even thinking something else, breathing, just, like a very natural.
Yeah, you could be so strong. Then when the winds and the misfortune hits you, you're standing strong like a tree, because your mind and your body are together backing each other up. So you're your own safety. You don't have to rely on external. You don't have to watch Netflix till 3 a.m. Because you don't need to convince yourself it's going to be okay, because you're okay. You are okay right now.
Yes.
Yeah. We did have a question. I don't understand it though. Maybe more details. Laura, maybe it was in the past and I missed it too long. Question, is this where a whoop could help? Laura, what?
All right, so I'm going to turn my camera off. I just got off the treadmill. I look like crap, but I'm going to turn my camera off. So I brought this up because, Daniela, you were talking about how you were struggling knowing when a good time was to exercise, because you would go for a walk and come back exhausted. First of all, Leo, thank you for doing this. I love shamanism. I have a friend who is a friend who's going to be practicing it. So I'm excited to visit her and
great.
But thank you for coming on. And do you know what a whoop is? It's a device.
I'm dying to hear this.
Okay. A whoop is a subscription-based device you wear on your wrist. It's not like a Fitbit. It's just there's nothing on your wrist you can read. It's just a device, and it goes to your phone. And basically, what it does is it calculates your sleep and gives you what strain level you should accomplish that day, what your recovery time should be, what your recovery number should be. So it's helped me. I just did a trial subscription. I just wanted to know if Leo had heard of it. But what it's done for me, Daniela, is I don't beat myself up anymore if I am too tired to work out, because my Whoop is telling me my recovery, my strain level should be low that day. So it's really helping me train smarter.
Part of me loves the idea. Part of me is worried that my Whoop would say that I'm a corpse and you might as well not bother. What is it measuring? Your blood pressure? Or?
It's measuring your resting heart rate, your sleep, your heart rate velocity, which is the time between your heartbeats.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And it just tells you how much you have recovered from the day before, and how much strain you can put on your body. So if it's a low strain day, I'm going to walk. If I have a good strain day, I'm going out for my 30-mile bike ride. So, but again, I'm just finding it really useful.
Yeah.
I love
started. The idea. I love the idea. I am keeping in mind that Laura is like one of the most fit people I've ever met in my life. So, I mean, the fact that she can say casually, oh, my 30-mile bike ride. But I love the idea. I wonder if that would put me more in my head and out of touch with my body, or more in touch with my body, though.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, what happened with this, equipment? They are really good. They give you very good feedback.
Yeah.
And if, for example, is your heart rate variability, which is HRV.
Yeah.
They had a score, right? They had some scores like 70%, 80%, depends on the equipment.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you say, okay, low, so then you have to, like she does, for example, when her energy is very low, so pick up for work or for riding, cycling, which is good.
Yeah, because the old me would work out really hard every day, and I was always exhausted and not getting anywhere. Sorry, go ahead.
Do you feel better now from it?
I just started it, so I do like what I've seen so far. It's coinciding with how I feel, and it's also coinciding with, like Leo said, it all depends on what I ate the night before. Did I have a glass of wine? How did I sleep? Am I under certain stress? Is something going on in the family? All that comes into play, all of it.
Yeah.
And it's working in the fact that it is lining up with all of those things.
Yeah, it's more, also it will be interesting more to know, for example, what causing, for example, your HRV right now, I don't know how much is your percentage right now, but if you say, for example, low, it will be interesting to know why is happening, why your stress level is too high, and then what's happening. There's another things is like observing what's happening with your soul, what's going on in so many things that not only for workout, but it should be to transform yourself, to heal yourself. That's what I mean.
I'm getting a very sneaking suspicion that this is going to entail facing the hard questions in your life and dealing with emotions.
Yes.
This isn't going to be an easy diet, is it? But it's good. It's worth it in the end, isn't it? But isn't it hard? Isn't it hard to do that?
No. I mean, of course, it's not like a it's not about analyzing and then trying to punish yourself, like what's happening, because that's another thing that is not natural.
Right.
But it's, I would say, beneficial to know, for example, is a feedback from the tool. It say that your energy level is too low for maybe for 5 days or 4 days consecutive, every day. Then we'll be interested, okay, this is something wrong. Even if your food is good, your nutrition is good, if you sleep well, and you're still going your stress level too high for a few days, obviously something going on emotionally, and then for that, then you need another kind of exercise, or instead of running or cycling, maybe something introspection inside, some breathing exercise, or maybe some meditation, depends, or some contemplation exercise, or depends.
Okay, so I have a final question I have to ask you, but I have one more question I want to be cheeky enough to sneak in before that question. What do you think of chronotypes? are you, because I'm listening to a scientist that says you should get early morning light, and that was a disaster. I tried that. That didn't work out very well. I tried to go to bed at 11. I lay awake with my eyes open till like 8, and then I crashed for like the rest of the week. But it's like, do you believe that some people just can't go to sleep early and aren't meant to, and it's okay to wake up a little later in the morning as long as you get morning sunlight? Or do you think everyone should start? What do you think about sleep, actual sleep, and like, does it matter much when you sleep?
Yeah, okay, that's really good question. I mean, everybody is, you know, different. Everybody has different pattern of sleeping. Some people, they are more in night people. You know, they are okay. Actually, some people, they are okay to sleep 5 hours and they're still very full of energy next day. It's unbelievable. So I think it's very individual. The only I would say it's a good idea to test it. For example, test it for 7 days. Okay, go to bed earlier and test yourself sleeping 8 hours, and let's see what happened. Or maybe test it the other way around. Okay, I'm gonna sleep 4 hours or 6 hours. Let's see what happened. And the tool that Laura was wearing, actually, it can give you a very good feedback for that.
Oh, really? I wonder if you can get it in the UK.
There's different tools. I will send you some link that
Okay.
I used to have one of them because I used to train martial art professional martial artists for events, you know, like MMA fighters, and they everything, all the training, it should be very how you say measured, you know.
The martial arts guys use it. I want one.
Yeah, they use it, but there's different of them. There's different type.
You know me. If the martial arts guys do it, then okay. So here's a question that I ask all my guests. I always put them in the spotlight.
Okay.
For the benefit of the people. Oh, and thank you very much, Laura. That was wonderful. I now know what I'm going to go and try to buy next. So my question is, for the benefit of the people that are going to be watching this YouTube video for the next 60 or 70 years, do you have any final words of wisdom? The one thing that if they don't remember anything else on the call, you really want them to walk away remembering.
Okay. I would say whatever you do, trying to come back to the center, trying to come back to yourself, to your essence, because that's the real you, the essence inside your spirit. And the roles that we having right now, the roles of me being a trainer, the role being a dad, they're just roles that we had to play with it, you know. But when I say come back to your center or come back to your own nature, is when you come back to you to peacefulness, you know. So try not to rush, no forcing. Forcing is good in some occasions, but it's not natural, you know. Well, I can still going on, but that I will say that could be my message for now.
I love that, though. It makes sense, because if we go back to the analogy, if we're the tree, if you're the tree, you being the father is one leaf, you being a trainer is another leaf. The leaves are going to be blown about, they're going to fall off, but the tree's still there.
Exactly. Yes, absolutely. That's
steady no matter what. Well, I like that one. We should write a book.
That's actually that's analogy very Taoism. It's very from Taoism.
I think I stole it from someone. I think I heard it from somewhere. But so thank you very much, Leo. Laura says thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you so much. Does any last minute questions? We've missed you guys. Everyone's sending the thank yous in. I'm going to post Leo's video on YouTube. As always, it's going to take a few weeks. Dastardly schedule. I'm a bit behind, but his link and everything, his website will be there. And in case and you know what we'll do? Oh, it's on the group. Leo, what's your website? I'll type it in case anybody wants to check it out.
Yeah, it's The Way of Empowerment.
So www, the way of
Yeah.
empowerment.
Yeah, .com.
And I've just gone blank and forgotten how to spell empowerment. I'm telling you, that last book I did just like broke my brain. Okay,
Yeah.
thewayofempowerment.com. Okay, so if anybody
That's right.
fancies it, check it out. He does blog posts and a lot of interesting things on it. Thank you so much. I shall see you first thing tomorrow, caffeine free, and in 5 weeks I'll
Yes.
have lost half my body weight again, right?
That's right.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Leo.
Daniela. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank
And thank you to
you.
everybody there for listening this show. And yes, I'm looking forward to see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Bye, Leo. Thank you,
you.
everyone,
Bye.
for joining. Bye, bye.
Bye-bye.
Rhythm song. Come on, everybody, tap along. First you scrub-a-dub, then you tap and rub. You might have to yell when you hear the bell ring out loud and long.